Do you need to learn how to shape surfboard rails because you're terrible at it? Good thing I have my young Padawan here, and we're going to go shape some rails. This is Grayson. Well, Grayson's a Grom, and he's
taller than you, though.
Yeah, that's true. I'm a Mexican, so he's gonna be here with us today. We shape some surfboard rails. We're gonna be doing everything with this. It makes it a lot better than it would be if you use something else. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our planer and make our initial band. Two ways to do this. You can either leave the board flat on the racks like this and angle your planer, which is not a bad way to do it at all. If you want a little bit more visibility of how low you're going, you can put it in the racks like this and also make your angle or your band this way. One really big thing you don't want to do when you're shaping rails with the planer is you see there's this whatever 1.5 to 2 inch gap where the blades can pop through. If you angle your planer like this, angle it too much, it'll just drop down to where the blades are on the drum, and it'll just chop a huge hole. So you have to be careful not to do that. But we're gonna make our first band on one side. I'm gonna measure everything, and then we're gonna go back and make it the same on the other side. Since I have a basic line where I'm going to keep my rail, this is going to be about the thickness of it. I'm still going to foil it down a little further than this. But what I want to do is start crowning the deck and getting the line where I'm going to do that. So I'm going to move this band in. And since my planer blades aren't wide enough to cut all of this at once, I'm going to start on the top and make a band to move it in closer to the stringer, and then I'm going to connect that all the way down to the bottom part of the rail so I have one flat plane that's even. And when I do this, I'm also feathering the planer, so when I start up here it's pretty much closed, and then I open the shoe up as I come down and feather off a little bit as we reach the end.
How long do you usually make your first band?
Like from the rail to the inside? It kind of depends on the board and what rail line you're going to take. Like an egg or something, the band isn't going to be as wide because it's going to be more of like a flat deck with a thicker rail.
Yeah.
So it depends on the thickness and angle of the rail that you want. With this board I want pretty down railed, so it's not going to be as far in. The further in you move your band, the less angled the rail will be. This one's going to be a little bit thicker in the center and have more of a down rail. The band's not going to travel as far in. Next part, we're going to measure so that we can make our surfboard symmetrical. We're going to take our shaper square and make probably 6 to 8 measurements. We're going to measure the width from the stringer to where our band is on the deck. And so then we'll put a little mark right where that is, and then we'll have good guidelines for when we start to do the band on the other side. Very first set of measurements, we did these so that we can measure this band, and now we're going to measure our other band, this one, with this tool. So how we're going to use this is I drew these lines all the way across, which I should have told everyone to do, but we're going to take this and they're going to squat down and we're going to line up, come check it out, Grayson, this little thingy with that line, and then clamp it down, and then we can come over to this side, put it right here where that line is,
Measure the.
And then we can put our mark right there. And now we know exactly where this side is. It helps so much. The reason why we don't take pieces of wood and stick a pencil on it and just draw something like this and use it like that, which a lot of people will show you how to do that on YouTube.
I've seen that, yeah.
It's because that's going to give you just the same width band the whole way through. And for a surfboard rail, you don't want that.
Yeah.
You want it to be wider where you're cutting out more foam so it's like proportionate the whole way through so you can keep an even rail line. Especially when it comes to doing the rails, people do that from the bottom and it's like you need the nose of your board a lot thinner than you need the center of your board.
Yeah.
So that's why it's better to do it by hand the first time and measure everything and then go back and make the other one the same. One thing you want to learn is wrap your hand under. Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
I watched the videos. Like this or angled.
So you don't want to angle it too much because remember if you angle it too much, especially like up here, then you can like drop it down.
So you pretty much just want it like straight the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much straight the whole time. You can start with a full open pass on this.
Nervous.
So you have to spin this
like that.
Okay. Good job. The second thing you can do is you come up to here.
Yeah.
Like say once you get to like this point or something, you can start to close it.
Okay.
So like give that a try.
Alright.
It's always good to go in both directions so that you're making your cuts flow even. Your wrist is kind of up to your chest here. Just plop it on there. And then you can open it up, you know, if you want. And once you get up to here, just close it. You kind of push your hips out. So
like that.
Yeah, just like that.
That feels so weird.
Like try and hit me in the chest with the planer right now. Yeah, like that. Something like that. That you don't let it angle too much.
Yeah. A little bumpy.
Nice. See, now here's another thing. Again, try and keep it this part of the planer on the board too.
Okay.
And so that's gonna keep it from getting bumpy.
Okay.
Because when you're like this, then you can move it too much.
Then it gets this.
But if you're like this, then you're chill.
Okay.
Walk this way, don't open up the shoe until you're like kind of passing this point now.
Okay.
And so you're blending it together.
Yeah, wow.
What you're gonna want to do now is think about the angle that you're holding the planer. So you've been holding it about like straight up and down, you know?
Yeah.
Flat like this.
Yeah.
Now is when you're gonna start thinking about tilting it. Because you want to make your band over this way.
Yeah.
Trying to get to this. And you can hold it at a bit more of an angle now, like inward. And then you want to start cutting on this line.
Okay.
On top of this, and so you're gonna have it angled.
Okay.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. For more content like this, make sure to subscribe. You're gonna want to increase the angle as you're coming in to the nose and tail areas and really taper off the shoe, like closing the shoe so you're not taking a deep cut at all. Because up here is really tiny little things.
Yeah.
And so you can always just go back with a sanding block to touch it up. Basically trying to draw a straight line from right here at this point to that point. So this right here is what I was talking about. You can see that divot. That if you have the blade sitting just on the board at too much of an angle, it'll put that rut there. So you have to always remember to keep it fairly straight, almost the whole thing touching the rail at the same time. I'm gonna finish off the rails, and Grayson did a pretty good job. We're gonna get it all touched up and ready to go for the next step. A lot less guesswork, you know?
Yeah.
And you're not trying to look like, oh, is it even? Is it even?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh no, it's pretty much even.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
So that's my process as far as that goes. So at this point, I'm gonna add a tiny bit more tail rocker because now I can see where my rail line's gonna be. And I don't want the tails to be super thick. And so you have to finish off the tail rocker before you start turning your rails.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for showing me some tricks.
Yeah, dog. Thanks for cruising.
Bye, Grayson.
See you guys.
Everyone went by. There he goes.
There he
you can pull yourself
goes.
up.
If you guys want to follow Grayson, make sure you guys check out the description.
Grommet Grayson has officially left. He got to shape a little bit of a rail. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to turn this into a pintail because I'm making it into a twinser. So I'm just getting a little bit of the squashiness out of there. And then I'm going to finish off the tail rocker. And then we'll start turning the rails. Ooh, that looks really good.
Oh